Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Posttopostpod. With me, as always, is my co-host, Chris Ronan. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, brother.
Happy Friday.
Playoffs are here. Let's get it.
Oh, it's that time of the year. Playoffs, baby. Monday, we're getting close. It's going to drop Monday. We're going to have playoffs coming. Woo! It's that time of the year. It's the best time of the year.
Today is Friday, April 29th. We got a lot of regular season games closing out tonight. We're really only concerned with two of them. That'll finalize all the seeding for the playoffs. We'll cover that later on. There is one more game on Sunday that really doesn't matter. I believe it's Seattle and someone else, but that'll be the end of the regular season. We should have playoffs starting. Hopefully, what do you think, Wednesday, Thursday, probably?
Yeah, I'm assuming around then, yeah. I'm assuming there. Right now, everything's getting set in stone currently, so I'd say by like midweek. Yeah.
While we're on playoffs, like the NBA is so weird, man. Like I was watching the Celtics, and their games were Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. No, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Oh,
that is such a big gap. And then I guess the next time after game 2 of the next series, they play like Sunday, Tuesday, and then they're off until Friday or Saturday.
Oh.
So they have like a four-day gap. It's so weird the way they stretch it out in basketball. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me at all.
Kills momentum quite a bit.
100%. Just on into the zone, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But guess what I did yesterday, bud?
What'd you do?
I went to the Bruins game last night.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
That was a good game to go to, right?
Yeah. It was. I was at work. My brother had tickets. He's up here for the week and got tickets. And he had my uncle was going with them, and then last second I had to drop out. So I was like, well, I got work, but I can make it to the second period. So that's what I did. And,
that's perfect.
First time at the new garden. That was weird. I got off at North Station there, and I'm like, whoa, where am I?
Dude, they changed everything, like the Guy Fieri restaurant, Star Market, like everything about it. It's awesome, though. I like what they've done with the ground level.
I didn't recognize that at all. There's like 2 floors of Star Market just sitting there. What's that live show that's like right there, right near the big stairs to the garden? I don't know what it was or who was playing, but like when I got there for the second period, there's like a line around like the bend.
What was there, like a live band or something?
Live
music?
band or
wow,
something like that.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, when I got in there, those seats are like so like I was just like me and my brother were just like this the entire time.
I don't know if I've been in the nosebleeds at the new garden. Actually, I've done a couple of like good seats the last few times
Good
I've
seats.
gone.
Yeah, I was like midway seats, but yeah, pretty good. It was the Patrice Bergeron hat trick and Linus Ullmark shout out there.
Yeah,
I was just telling you that the whole time I was like I was looking at Dustin Tokarski with like getting anxiety. I'm just like, dude, how are you in the league right now? And every whistle, you're just like trying to fix like your pads and everything. I'm like, I feel like everything should be set in stone once you get on the ice. You know?
It was interesting. Yeah, I even noticed it on the broadcast too, and then you mentioned it, so I was like, wow, that's crazy. It was kind of weird to see.
Yeah, but it was a good time. Can't wait to do another Bruins game. That was fun.
Yeah, it's good that you went back. You said it'd been what, like 2 or 3 years?
No, it's been like over 10 years.
10 years. Wow, that's crazy.
Not nuts.
It is.
I don't know.
What else did you do, though? I heard you might have made it out to the golf course.
I made it out to the golf course.
How'd that go?
Before we get into the golf course, I tried that cashierless thing.
Oh, you did? No way. They had it there?
They had it there.
How did it work? What did you have to do? Anything?
Awful, by the way. There's a guy that's like, for some reason, checks your ID. Probably because it's all alcohol one. But there's like a machine that like you just put your credit card into and like it reads it and then you get it back and then you just go in and just whatever you get and leave. I don't know how it works.
But that's what you got charged for?
That's what I got charged for.
Wow.
So I was just dumbfounded because like they had these beers there and it was like $15 per beer. I'm like, whoa, like. But ironically, I drink these Bacardis here, and I can get 4 of these for $10, by the way. And so I saw 2 of them there, and I was like, let me just grab the 2 and just have it with me for like the rest of the game. And as soon as I grabbed them, I looked down at the price, and the price of 1 was $17. And I'm like, get out of here. Why is this shit so expensive? You know?
Yeah, it's just a captive audience. It's always been like that at like Xfinity Center, Fenway, like you name it. Like you have no choice but to buy it from me, so I can jack the prices up however I want. You're screwed. Shit out of luck.
It worked. So that was an interesting experience, the cashier listing. But
you said it sucked, though?
Well, the pricing for everything sucked.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're in there doesn't change the pricing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for the rest of the garden.
Right.
But the cashier list thing didn't suck then, or it did?
No, I liked it. Yeah,
oh, okay.
It's pretty cool.
Right. Was it faster, would you say? Yeah.
Yeah, you
No
pretty
shit.
much just went in, grabbed whatever you want, and just
steal.
left, and that was it.
You
Yeah,
just steal,
steal it and just skedaddle. But yeah, back to Sunday. It was me and our friend Tommy. We played golf for the first time this year, and boy, did I hack it up. Oh man, that was not good.
How many balls you lose?
Ironically, probably 2.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
That's pretty good then.
But it was just bad.
Dude, my biggest pet peeve about golf is when you hit a wicked nice shot, like straight down the middle, like perfect. Like it's going to be dead middle fairway. You drive up and it's like, where the hell is it? And you can't find it when like you're like, dude, I nailed that. It should be right here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the most frustrating thing in the world to me.
I nailed one. It was like the 9th hole or 8th hole. You know those long holes?
Yep.
And Tommy was just like, so I hook left, and you and everyone else hates it. But Tommy at like the 8th hole or 9th hole, it goes, but you should just do it. I'm like, okay. So like I aim like the hole where I need to be is like straight in front of me, and I aim pretty much all right. And he goes, dude, you're aiming toward like the next hole. I'm like, don't worry about it. I crush it. It hooks left, dead greenway.
Nice.
And I'm like, why does that work? I don't know.
Because you're not fixing your swing. That's why it works.
But I don't know. We're supposed to be going tomorrow. I don't know if you're around to go.
No, yeah, I saw that in the group chat. I mean, if you can't get 4, maybe I'll see if Emma can sit in the cart with me. We can go 3 and Emma.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Right?
Some nips for Emma.
I also have the Mask of Shame, which is actually going to no longer be the Mask of Shame because I sold the Molson Canadian helmet. So I moved on from that one. My buddy was he needed a backup set, so I had an extra helmet kicking around, and he tried it on, said it fit good. So this is the new one.
So fun fact: if one of us, or me in particular, forgets my mask, then we are just shit out of luck.
Yeah, I guess it's just a one mask kind of night.
Just a one mask kind of night, and that's it. That's how we roll now.
All right, but
But
glad we're all cut up on all that.
Yep. So why don't I just dive into it? We have playoff talk later in the episode, but we're going to go through a lot of news right now.
Yeah, we want to do the playoff talk later on, so you stick around for a little bit, you know?
Yep.
Arizona Coyotes, they actually called up one of their players from the AHL. Boko Imama scores in his NHL debut against Jordan Binnington in St. Louis. His parents were also present at the game, which is awesome. He's 24 years old. He's played 5 seasons in the QMJHL and 5 seasons in the AHL, and the goal he scored was not too shabby. Nice pass from behind the net, snapped it right home.
That's awesome.
Binnington basically got over and like almost got set, but it was a good shot.
Mm-hmm. So, not specifically Boko, but I see a lot of these guys, especially around this time of the year, where a lot of these guys are getting rest, and these guys coming up that just seeing what these players got, and Boko definitely showing what he's got.
Yeah, he delivered there.
So it was cool stuff to see from Arizona. For Arizona particularly, I think a guy we might be looking into and just seeing maybe make the roster later on down the road, because this Arizona team needs a complete reset.
Yeah, I don't really know what else they're going to reset, though. I just think that they sell everything and fire sale and don't really work towards a steady goal of, like, what are we actually doing here? They kind of just do things to do things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But I do think he'll be getting some ice time next season for sure.
Hopefully.
Little note here on Columbus. You ready for that?
Yeah.
The Columbus Blue Jackets' Elvis Merzlikins has 25 wins on the season, which is now the most in Columbus Blue Jackets history. He started 13 of the last 14 games for the team. He is 5th in Columbus Blue Jackets history with 9 career shutouts, and he has 2 assists this season, which ties him for 3rd among NHL goalies.
That is awesome. 2 assists. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, dude, I love Elvis. I feel like the past few weeks I have been talking about Elvis somewhere along the ways. I think last week we were talking about Elvis with the 11 games straight. Did we do a breakdown with that? And I'm like, Jesus, that is a lot for a starting goalie. You know, it just burns you out. And the fact that he can sit there and stand on his head and have these stats is just unbelievable. It says a lot to him as a goaltender and probably the team as well. You know,
it's kind of nuts too that he did 11 straight, took 1 off, and then went back in for 2 more. So I think that he kind of likes that. He wants the pressure, the spotlight, and to be the guy. And I would hate to be his backup.
Yep. Jonas Korpisalo?
Yeah.
That's fine. I love that tandem, by the way. The Elvis and Korpisalo. I think Korpisalo is a solid backup, too. He can also be a starter if you give him like the right amount of games to warm up. And
that'd be tough, man. Imagine going in after sitting for 11 games straight, and then you have to go in and play.
Imagine that. I'm just thinking about that. And Jonas Korpisalo, instead of boots, skates. I would be like, all right, well, I'm just going to watch Elvis play now. Oh, God, you'd be cold going in. Oh, God.
I wonder if like the backup goalies actually get like physically cold sitting on the benches for 3 hours at the NHL arenas. You know what I mean? Because like if you go and watch like a men's league game for an hour, like you get fucking
pretty cold,
right?
Now you're on like NHL ice too, where I was like midway up in the stands, like I was still feeling the chill, you know?
Yeah.
Huh, that's an interesting thought. I know some guys, it's not really a thing anymore, but you know the backups used to have like the Gatorade sweat towels and put it around like the back of the neck to keep them warm, you know? I don't know, it might be cold. Who knows? We should probably go to the NHL and find out.
Yeah, maybe. I'm working on it. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But more news. We got the Anaheim Ducks. Ryan Getzlaf has announced his retirement and played his last game this week. Teemu Selanne drove in Getzlaf's new Honda Talon for a retirement gift from the team. He retires with a career 1,019 points, 1,157 games played, a Stanley Cup, and 2 Olympic gold medals. He was drafted 19th overall to the Ducks in 2003 and made his NHL debut with the team on October 5th, 2005, where he would play his whole career there. That Talon, though, that's cool.
Talon.
Stuff. Is it Talon? I
Yeah.
thought it was pronounced
Yeah.
Talon. Those are awesome. I want them so bad, but I don't know. Where would you put one in Boston, you know?
Yeah, there's not really any real use for it. They're pretty fucking cool. Like he's got probably a McMansion or so he's got room to use it with. It was cool to see Teemu surprise drop off too and pass that gift over to him.
Yeah, that was cool. An absolute legend to another legend, you know?
Yeah.
Getzlaf has been around for, I feel like, quite a long time, especially when I was looking into when he was drafted when he first played. I was like, wow, man, it's been forever.
It's cool looking back and seeing the old footage of back then, even like the late 90s or like early 2000s. Like you watch it on like the television now and you're like, wow, that is like terrible quality. How did we watch this and like this? You know what I mean? It's funny.
I was watching this clip of, God, I wish I could tell you the year. It's maybe 2007, 8. It was Evgeny Nabokov for the San Jose Sharks. He makes a save off of Robinson. I think it was a Dallas Stars player with a glove save. And I'm watching it. It's just like, how do you know where the puck is? Like the quality is just so bad.
Yeah. It was definitely hard. I remember when I was a kid, I hated watching hockey because I just couldn't see the puck. I couldn't track it. That's really what like kept me away from the sport. I was like, it's kind of boring. Like I don't really know what's going on. People are moving, but I don't see why they're moving or what they're doing.
Right.
So.
PlayStation 1 graphics. Yep.
Yeah. So, moving right along, I do have to cover some bad news in the NHL here. Vegas Golden Knights, my team, have had a monumental collapse leading up to the playoffs. This is the first year in franchise history that the Knights are not in the playoffs. Excuse me. The Golden Knights went 0 for 17 in their shootout attempts in their last 3 overtime and shootout games, while Logan Thompson, their goalie, went 14 for 17 in net. Jack Eichel has just entirely disappeared from this roster. Like this is absurd, ridiculous, just embarrassing, honestly. Like they had the lead and they just pissed it away. So San Jose ends up beating them the other day, and Timo Meier ends up taunting the bench after beating them in the shootout. He went on to say that a few players around the league were texting his other teammates saying that they were rooting for them to spoil their postseason plans. Kind of nuts. And then the San Jose Jumbotron operator put up a hidden message on the Jumbotron. It read like this, and I don't know if this guy still has his job. This is kind of nuts. This is at the SAP Center in San Jose. Fans unite, celebrate, keep the hockey energy kicking. Now imbibe generously, honor the Sharks. And if you take the first letter of each word, it spells out fuck the Knights. So I thought that was crazy. Pretty cool to see. Kind of nuts.
Getting really ballsy in the NHL as of late.
Right,
it's
dude.
insane.
People just pissing in the Zamboni drains and
everything. You
putting
name
fuck
it.
the Knights
you
on the
name it,
Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Dallas actually ended up beating them the next game to make it even more difficult for them to make the playoffs. They actually also ended up putting a hidden message up on their Jumbotron, and it same thing, but it ended up spelling out "You are welcome." And lastly, a savage fan sitting behind the bench of the Golden Knights was showing Pietrangelo the results of another game that actually knocked them out of the playoffs and left them with no playoff hope. So sad to see. It's terrible. The organization is kind of a dumpster fire at the way they've handled things, and I don't know, the just everything about that organization is not going well. I didn't like the way that Gerard Gallant was let go a few seasons ago, and I think that's really where things started to go south for this organization. Yep. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying DeBoer didn't do a good job. He's a great coach, and he came in and did everything that he was supposed to, but it just didn't happen, man. This season was just wild. I don't know. I don't have much else to say.
No, you're right. Vegas came out guns blazing since they even came into the league, and now we saw this season where they're just like, and just didn't make the playoffs.
That was my thing. They were that close, and this was the first time that they really had to fight to get a playoff spot, and I just kind of knew they didn't have that kind of experience, and they weren't going to be able to get it done. Mm. Sucks, but
I mean, teams are going to have this. It's nothing really new. No team is perfect and makes the playoffs all the time, but this team definitely has their ups and downs through their head office, through the management, through the players, with the whole Robin Leonard stuff and Marc-Andre Fleury, and I don't know what they're doing, but apparently it's definitely affecting them to the point where they're missing playoffs, and so hopefully they can figure something out in this off season that they have coming up, and figure something out for next season, So
yeah,
hopefully we'll see them back in the playoffs for you, especially.
That's all there is to do. Go hit the golf course and get ready for next year. So
I'm
enjoy.
seeing a few tears roll down your cheeks.
Yep, I actually took down my Golden Knights jersey, threw up the Kings. I think that they're going to be my my sleeper pick for the playoffs. But we'll move on to another team here. Toronto's Austin Matthews has cracked 60 goals this season. And they actually posted this clip earlier this week. Excuse me, a little gassy today. Back in 2020, Tampa Bay's Alex Killorn was interviewing Steven Stamkos, and he asked him if he would be the last player to score 60 goals in the NHL, to which he replied no. When he was then asked who he thought would do it next, Stamkos said Matthews back in 2020, so he predicted this 2 years ago, which is pretty cool. The Maple Leafs have also clinched home ice advantage in the first round, and this will be the first time in 18 years that they will have a home crowd to open the playoffs.
That's nice. That's nice for Toronto. Gotta, you know where I'm going with this.
I do.
You already know. I think all the listeners and people watching know what I'm going with this. So I'm just not going to say it.
We'll get more into it later on, I think, because we do want to talk about their matchup here.
Yeah, we do. This is going to be all part of it too. Yeah,
yep.
So.
And some more detrimental news for Canada. Montreal is the first team in NHL history to be a Stanley Cup finalist team one year and to finish dead last the following season.
In NHL history, by the way, as an original six team who has been in the league since the beginning, they're how? It's insane.
Yeah, if you think about it, like you could make it to the when there's only 6 teams in the league, you could make it to the finals and finish 6 out of 6 the next year. It seems like it's something that's reasonable that could happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of nuts that it never happened back then. But in good news though, Montreal did beat Florida tonight 10-2, which is nuts. And Cole Caulfield actually got his first career hat trick. So
Nice.
There's that.
Bringing back Cole Caulfield.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to see like the yin and the yang with last year's playoffs. Florida Panthers last playoffs was almost pretty much coming out of nowhere, looking really, really good in the playoffs, and they were my underdog team. And then Montreal was the same thing, just the underdog team that like came through all the way to Tampa. And you're like, Jesus, they're gonna take it. And it's funny how this next season or this season right now, Florida now is like the best team in the league after that run that they had in the playoffs, and now Montreal is the worst. But we talked about Montreal and them losing 90% of their team due to injuries and stuff.
Yeah, and to go back a couple episodes too, I fucking blanked so hard on Philip Deneau, who left Montreal to go to LA. That's who the player was that I couldn't think of for fucking 3 weeks.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully Montreal comes back 100% next season. Carey Price, the whole shebang comes back next season ready to go. I don't think after a season like this, I don't think they might have playoff. What am I trying to say? Playoff contention maybe, but I feel like they will be better than what they've gone through this season though.
Can't get much worse. Tell you that for free.
Nope. If you're already ground level, there's only one way up. One way to go. Moving on to another retirement. Los Angeles Kings' Dustin Brown has announced he will also be retiring at the end of the Kings' playoff run. Kopitar gave up the captaincy so that Brown could wear the C one last time. Kopitar wore an A for that game. After the game, the Vancouver Canucks lined up to pay their respects to him as well. Dustin Brown was actually a funny name that I saw. I thought so. When I was going through Instagram, it was Puck Empire that brought this up, and I had to double look at the name to say that think it's not Puck Empre, and 2, had to Google it to be like, is Dustin Brown really retiring? Because I didn't think he would, and here he is. But congratulations to Dustin Brown. He's the one who he raised the cup with the LA Kings back in the day, and good for him.
What made you think that Dustin Brown wouldn't be retiring?
I don't know. I just I don't know. I just didn't really see it coming.
Yeah.
Just like, I feel like he'd be on for like a little longer, and just like not out of nowhere be like, yeah, I'm done,
Yeah, I think the wrist injury that he's dealing with kind of accelerated this a little bit, but I mean, he's been at it a lot longer than I honestly knew too. He's been playing in the league since 03-04, so that's almost 20 straight seasons. This year, I think he had limited ice time, limited minutes, 9 goals, 19 assists, -3 on the season. Tough season. I mean, the Kings somehow got it together and made it into the playoffs with actually like a decent seeding. So, I mean, hopefully they get, at least second round, maybe conference finals for them, so he can get a nice little send-off from the fans, and fans can get a few more games to watch him play, because he's still a top-line forward. That's nice.
100%. So congratulations to both. I bring this up all the time. I feel like I'm getting old. Every time I see these names go, Justin Brown retiring. Oh, my God. Ryan Getzlaf retiring. It's like, oh, dude, I was just watching you in the All-Star game, I was just watching you raise the cup. Like, why are you retiring so young? And then you look at their age, you're like, oh, my God. This is what getting old feels like, and it's not good.
Yeah, he's an 84 birthday, too, so he's almost 40. That's kind of surprising. God.
Well, here we are on a podcast. All right, so moving on from L.A. and Dustin Brown, the Florida Panthers, to no surprise, clinched the President's Trophy for the team, as Colorado will no longer be able to catch them, which is also a surprise because it was Colorado and the Panthers were kind of battling each other for first overall for the past few weeks, and then all of a sudden Florida really just took off and beat them to it. So Florida right now is the best team in the league, winning that President's Trophy. It's going to be nothing. They're going to shake this off and be like, no, we have a goal here,
Yeah, it's some coaches look at it and say, no, that's a regular season award. We don't really care.
Yep.
But, I mean, Colorado didn't really get dusted too bad. They actually, I think they lost tonight, but they finished 3 points behind the Florida Panthers. So that kind of stinks. I was looking forward to Colorado winning the President's Trophy, but it's also kind of a monkey off your back once you're in playoffs. Like, now it's not, everyone's gunning for us because we're the best team in the league. So
right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
How long, what am I trying to say here? When do you think the next time the Florida Panthers organization will see a team like this in the season that they had?
I mean, when you look at President's Trophy winners, like, you don't usually see a back-to-back. You don't usually see twice in 10 years. I mean, it's kind of like a once in a lifetime almost kind of thing.
Right.
Like, I don't know. You can't really predict it. Like, they could end up like Tampa Bay and be, one of the best deep teams in the league.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, winning the President's Trophy, that's a big accomplishment, I'd say.
Huge accomplishment.
They only lost 18 games in regulation this season, which is nuts.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, God. Can you imagine that? Not used to losing at all whatsoever. Yeah. And they just gave one up tonight. Also, we got another trophy that was handed out. The Carolina Hurricanes, Antti Ranta and Freddie Anderson have won the William Jennings Trophy for the fewest goals allowed by a tandem in the NHL. Carolina has the league low of 202 goals, including shootout deciding goals, and finishing ahead of Calgary, who had 203, and the Rangers, who had 205. Calgary was also... Calgary was in the running back in the beginning of the season with the whole Dan Vladar and Jacob Markstrom being best tandem in the league for quite some time. And then here comes Freddie Anderson and Antti Ranta out of left field. And I honestly think that whole Rangers 205 was all Igor Shesterkin. It wasn't tandem. I think it was just all Igor Shesterkin, who's up there for the Vezina candidate right now. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. These numbers I was just kind of diving into. It's kind of weird. Like, it looks like goals against for Carolina is 202, Rangers 207 is what I'm seeing on the standings, but I don't really know like what the difference is. Kind of like the Flames, I see 208. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really put a lot of thought into this. Like,
Yeah.
How much does this really reflect for playoffs unless a goalie gets hurt? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's great that the two of these guys were that good, but like, you really can't play both of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so unless there ends up being an issue where you need to make a decision, like, that's really when I guess it comes into play. But
Right.
like I said too, when you look at Calgary and the Rangers, like they have just as few goals in the grand scheme of things, like one or two. That's not that bad. So,
No.
yeah.
Oh, so let's go. So congratulations to Rotza and Freddie Anderson. And you want to do this because as a goalie, actually as you're a goalie too, I would be pissed scared if this happened to me.
Nashville, Philip Forsberg, he rips a one-timer right past Darcy Kemper's head. It almost looked like he kind of got out of the way a little bit. It actually ended up breaking the crossbar. That's how hard he shot it. The way that this one-timer was released, man, it was nuts. Darcy Kemper sliding left to right. The shot's coming, and it's going over his left shoulder. And he kind of, like, ducks a little bit. It hits the crossbar, and basically, like, he must have hit, like, the perfect spot with, like, the corner of the puck and, like, dead middle of the crossbar, and it snapped, like, the bottom part of it off a little bit.
That is insane. That, like, your shot was so hot, it broke pipe.
And it seems like Nashville is that team, because I remember a few years ago, Shea Weber broke the fucking boards with a slap shot that missed the net. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it seems like these guys are just juicing it there. I mean, we're gonna have to.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have to check. But
They did a slow mo of Philip Forsberg taking that shot, and I don't know how much he weighs, but it was like all the weight in his body was like in that stick, and just the way he was able to get that off, I was like, Jesus. Can
Yeah.
you imagine if it hit Kemper in the head?
oh my God, he'd be down and
He'd
out.
be dead. I wouldn't say that, but he'd be knocked.
Yeah, it
knocked
would
out.
even the tables a little bit because we're hearing word that Juicy Saros is out with a high ankle sprain, which is terrible
Not good.
timing for the team.
Mm-hmm.
So
They brought up Connor Ingram, and so they have David Riddick and Connor Ingram as their tandem going into the playoffs, which is no bueno.
yeah, not what they were hoping for here.
Nope. But moving on, before we're gonna talk about that in a bit. But moving on, we have the ECHL. The Cincinnati Cyclones. Tim Murray was awarded the 2021-2022 ECHL Athletic Trainer of the Year award and becomes the second trainer in team history to win the award. Murray has been a certified athletic trainer for 13 years, and this season was just his second season with the Cyclones. The athletic trainer prepares for practice and games, treating injuries post-activity and being available to the players throughout the night. A very, very strict and hard job to do with these guys, especially the ECHL, where just all these players are pretty much just kids trying to make it into the pros, which is a lot of work. So congratulations to Tim Murray on great job. Only 2 years with the organization too, and he's already getting the award. So that was interesting news to hear. You know.
Yeah, it's awesome. I feel like we don't really see coverage on the thanks that these guys get at the end of the day. Like, I wouldn't say it's a thankless job, but I would say that it's kind of like the behind the scenes people that, you know, get everything done and make sure that the best product that we can get out on the ice ends up there. So thank you to him for working behind the scenes and, you know, helping the Cyclones out.
All right, 100%. And then for our almost little bit last bit of news here, the double IHF under 18 in a game with Team USA versus Team Latvia. German referee Luka Kumula collides with a Team USA player and ends up severely lacerating his wrist on the player's skate and was rushed off the ice. Fortunately, he went through 2 surgeries and has full movement in his hands and fingers and isn't expected to have any permanent damage, which is awesome to hear. In the video, he just... the Team USA player falls, his skates go up, and the referee falls on top of him and just, like, he puts his hand down and it just goes right through the blade and just, like, it was like... Oh my God! There's just so much blood on the ice as he was running out, and he was the guy that had to blow the whistle too. And
yeah,
that was a scary moment, you know.
Dude, this type of things, like even hearing about it, makes me like a little like squeamish. I think is the word. Like,
yep. Like,
I couldn't
God.
imagine being on the ice when it happened, dude. That's crazy. That's scary shit.
That's scary. Yeah, it's scary shit for the referee too. You know, just
yeah.
But thankfully, there's a doctor right on the bench to help out, and you know. But
glad he's doing all right.
Glad he's doing well, and just scary shit. Just something to say to like be careful out there. You know, refs are out there. Things do happen, but also you know, be careful. That's it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple of little other news, little blurbs to cover here. The National Lacrosse League, Wayne Gretzky announced this week that he is a part owner of the NLL's newest expansion club, the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. So that's pretty interesting. I don't really know too much about the NLL. I usually cover PLL and a little bit of MLL before, but good for them. That's pretty cool. Interesting to see.
Hockey, curveball.
Hockey and lacrosse have a lot of crossover, though. Like up in Canada, lacrosse is huge because it's very similar to the way that hockey is run. And a lot of the hockey guys, when they're done for the season, will play lacrosse in the summertime.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Just like the way you set up like an umbrella and like play from behind the net kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Breakouts, shit like that.
Oh, I had no idea. Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very similar. Pretty cool. And then we had some bad news out of the MLB, actually. So this pitcher, Trevor Bauer, has been suspended for 324 games, which is 2 full seasons from the MLB. From what I've heard, Bauer's been fighting these accusations in a lot of legal battles and is yet to be convicted. But the MLB commissioner is allowed to issue punishments as he sees fit. And that's basically what happened in this case. Bauer can try and appeal for a lesser suspension, but that can take a lot of time, and he'll definitely be missing some games for this. He has already been on administrative leave with the MLB since July of last year and has not appeared in a game since then. So
Trevor Bauer is the guy we talked about with his weird routine, right?
I thought that was Zach Greinke.
Zach Greinke, sorry.
But I do think when we were doing our baseball dive back then, something was up with Trevor Bauer as well.
Yeah.
Or was he the one with the rap mixtape? Maybe we're getting them mixed up, but
no, Zach Greinke had the rap mixtape. No, you have it dead on with Zach Greinke. But when I saw this, I'm like, we definitely talked Trevor Bauer.
We did about
because
something.
For some reason, his name just like rings a bell.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but
might be Bauer hockey brand. That might be it.
I don't know, maybe.
No, I'm just fucking with you. I do think we covered something about him last year.
Yeah, and that's why I sent it to you. I was like, oh, I think we talked about this guy. But yeah, it sucks. Sucks to have for Trevor Bauer, and from what I heard is that he wasn't he was found not guilty of it, but it's now under the MLB's, the head end's opinion on what they should do.
Yep.
And so they're just like, yeah, we found you not guilty, but I guess there was another thing that came out, like there's another woman from Ohio, I think, that said he did something, and then the MLB was just like, yeah, we're
you
done.
know, as much as it sucks in the sense, like, I don't want to get into he did it, he didn't do it, it's a piece of shit, he's not a piece of shit, all that stuff. At the end of the day, right, if he's innocent, he's innocent, and the MLB can still kind of do what they want to because you're a representative of this league. Your name shouldn't even be coming up in these kind of things, I guess, right?
Right.
And that's the way that they want to run it. So they're telling him, like, no, you're going to sit out for 2 years from the MLB.
Yeah.
A corporation like the NFL needs to look at this and make a mental note of, like, hey, they're cleaning their shit up. Maybe we shouldn't put convicted felons on the fucking field.
Right.
You know what I mean? They have guys out there that are, like, literally, like, convicted crimes, like, done fucked up shit, and they're just, like, allowed to come in and play. Oh, you miss a game or two. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, They really need to take a good long look in the mirror and figure their shit out because the NFL is just a breeding ground for pieces of shit, in my opinion. That's just my tangent there. But there you go.
I love it.
That's gonna go over well with the fans.
Oh man, it's gonna be so good. Right before the playoff talk.
Yeah. Are you ready for the playoff talk?
I'm ready for it.
I think I need a beer before we do the playoff talk.
All right, you ready for it?
We're gonna go over our picks from last year first. Or no, the beginning of this season first.
Okay.
So this is what we have for the Pacific Division. We can do mine first. We both ended up with the same exact score. We both suck terribly. I picked Vegas to be in, Calgary, Edmonton, and Seattle. So I went 2 for 4 there. You picked Vegas, San Jose, Calgary, and Edmonton. So
San Jose.
Yeah.
Calgary and Edmonton?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, 2 for 4 there.
Yep, 2 for 4 as well. And then
what the hell? Why San Jose?
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. We could probably go back and find out on the episode, though.
We probably could.
For the Central Division, I had Chicago, Colorado, Dallas, and Winnipeg. So I went 2 for 4 there. No Winnipeg, no Chicago. You also missed on Chicago and Winnipeg, so those were your 2 misses. You have Nashville and St. Louis in.
Oh, wow.
So you have 2 of the other... the other 2. But we also looked at this differently where now there's 5 teams from the Central that get in instead of 4, and there's only 3 from the Pacific. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he did pretty good, actually. 2 for 3 out of the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
Look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the Atlantic, I had Washington, Carolina, the Islanders, and Philadelphia. So 2 for 4 there. Washington and Carolina are in. You had And then in the Metropolitan, we actually had the exact same picks, and all 4 were right, which is funny.
Oh, shit.
So we know our own market, I guess. Florida, Boston, Toronto, and Tampa Bay.
Wow, no shit. Wow.
Kind of interesting. So we went 4, 8, 12, 16, minus 6. So we went 10 for 16.
I don't blame my pick for New York Islanders because New York Islanders were great in the playoffs last year. They were looking great. I don't know how they failed and fell to the wayside.
And they kept like almost the same exact team going into the season. So it's like, what the fuck?
It's like, what happened to you?
I guess it's kind of they just didn't, update and upgrade and stay with the times kind of thing.
Maybe.
So that's probably it. For our Stanley Cup champions pick from the beginning of the season, I am out with the New York Islanders, and you still have a chance with Tampa Bay if they three-peat.
Whoa, Champa.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you Edmonton and LA for the first matchup we're going to cover. We're going to do the Pacific matchups first.
Okay.
Edmonton and LA. You can go on a little tangent, talk about whatever you think, and give a pick at the end. I'm going to grab myself a beer real quick.
Okay. So Edmonton, LA. I'm definitely going to take Edmonton on this. LA is in the running because Jonathan Quick has been on a heat streak. But I don't think the LA Kings has what it takes to even make it past the first round, especially with Edmonton Oilers, who have been even more on a fucking hot streak with the 9-0-0 with that boy Ben Stelta in the stands. Mike Smith in net, and they have Mikko Koskinen. Although we did talk about this earlier on, that remember they were having issues with goaltending, and we went on this kind of tangent. We're just like, can't be the goaltending, and then we both looked up the stats of Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen. We're like, oh no, it's definitely the goaltending, But they've Koskinen's been okay. Mike Smith as of late has been yending it both from his side of the net to UC Saros. Was it UC Saros? Oh no, it was Casey DeSmith trying to shoot on him and shoot on the empty nets. So if Mike Smith can ride this hot streak and keep the Edmonton Oilers in it, I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to definitely get to the second round here.
All right, so you got Edmonton. How many games do you have them in?
Oh God, I'm gonna say sweep. I'm gonna say 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I'm looking at this team and I say, well, they've really gotten it together. Edmonton has with Evander Kane on the top line, getting production out of Kailer Yamamoto, Zach Hyman, all those guys, right? They're looking really deep. They're looking really good. Mm-hmm. Mike Smith is definitely hot right now. He's going to be the starter, I think, when playoffs start.
Yep.
And then looking on the other side, it's kind of like the same group here. They're definitely not as deep. They definitely can't really get a lot done, I don't think, depth-wise. Mm-hmm. But I think they got the piss-you-off factor in a Brendan Lemieux, the toughness factor in a Quinton Byfield, and I just think they're a very wide team. Mm-hmm. They kind of check all the boxes when it comes to that. I think the rejuvenation and the drive of Dustin Brown, like, announcing his retirement before, like, at the end of this season will give them a little boost in the playoffs, too. Right. So I think I'm going to go with LA on this one, and they're kind of like my upset pick. Like, I really don't know if they're going to win, but I would love to see it. Just so the fans know too, the Oilers lead the regular season series 3-1. So, yeah, I think that's what I got right now.
And all 4 of those scores, by the way, I'm looking at them now, for the season series, hasn't been too crazy. Like the beginning in December 5th of 2021, LA beat Edmonton 5-1. Then after that, it was like Edmonton beat them 5-2, and then you got LA losing to Edmonton 4-3 in a shootout, and then Edmonton beating them 3-2. So nothing too crazy score-wise.
And when I'm looking at those scores, I see the March 30th and April 7th dates, and I think it's after the trade deadline. These are the teams that we're going to see in the playoffs, and they're that close of games. So I think that gives me a little bit of hope. I'm going to take them in 7 games though, and hope for the upset and pray there.
That's what the jersey's for, bud.
That's right. You. That's why I chucked it up there.
Love it.
I just want to get a score update and see what we're looking at here. The next matchup we have right now is Calgary and Nashville, which is actually underway right now. Nashville is up 4-1. So we're trying to figure out if Nashville is going to be seeded against Calgary or not, and Colorado versus Dallas would be the other one that's a question mark. Dallas, the score is a final of 4-2, so they did get their win. I'm just going to reload my standings here real quick and see. This might change some shit for us. So in the Western Conference, As of right now, the Predators need to win this game to flip-flop back into the seed that they were in, because right now it has changed. But, I mean, they're up 4-1 over the Coyotes, so I'm going to go ahead and say that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So the Predators are still scheduled to play
Calgary
right now. So that's what we're going to go with. Well, that's what you'll get. Suck it. That's what we're leaving it at, okay? If we're wrong, we're wrong. But let's see what you got for Nashville, Calgary.
All right. I don't even know if you Predators fans even want to hear me right now. It's going to be Calgary all day, every day. UC Saros is your number one guy after our boy Pecorine announced his retirement, and now you have him out. You have David Riddick, who's now the starter, and Connor Ingram as your backup. David Riddick, okay backup, but your UC Saros is your dude. You need your starter in the playoffs, and against a team like the Calgary Flames, who's been one of the best teams in the league, you are not going to survive unless you have good goaltending. And with the Predators kind of just, I want to say just getting in there, but kind of just doing it. I got Calgary, and I think that might be, oh God, you know what? I'm gonna give them. I'll say Calgary in 5. I'll give them 1.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Yeah.
Short playoffs for you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No shit. All right, so I'm looking at this now. Let's see what they did for the season here. We have a Predators leading the series from the regular season 2-0-1.
Yeah.
All of these games went to overtime or a shootout, so that's nice to see. It's going to be a nice even matchup. 2 of these games were in April, so that's after trade deadline. Everything teams are set. Everything's looking good.
Yeah.
For the line combos, I mean, Calgary's just so hot right now, and no pun intended there with the Flames. But yeah, I mean, the Jacob Markstrom, Dan Vladar tandem, they have been playing really well all season long. Like it's shown. I just don't trust it personally. I haven't watched enough of their games. But this is another team that I think mirrors kind of the LA Kings with the toughness of a Matthew Tkachuk. Tyler Toffoli can get out in front of the net. Calle Yarncroc, like Milan Lucic. I don't know, man. I think Nashville doesn't really stand a chance. I am going to give them an extra game over you. I'm going to say Calgary in 6. So that's what I got there.
Even with that boy Roman Yossi?
Yeah,
Carry the team on his back?
That's what I mean. That's why I think it's going to stretch the series out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
I just don't think that Nashville's going to have what it takes to get that series done. So,
I'm with you on that.
Moving right along, we're going to go to the Central Division. This is going to be a tough one to choose. Minnesota versus St. Louis.
That is a toughie. That's a toughie right there. Do we have anything for that, Minnesota? Yeah, so the Blues. So the Minnesota Wild, because I'm the goalie guy here. So the Minnesota Wild have Marc-Andre Fleury and Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot, I believe, is going to be the starter. And the Blues with Binnington and Husso. We talked about this. I think Husso's going to be the starter.
I think Binnington's going to start. I think he's kind of turned it around towards the end of the season. He got his shit together. And I think we'll see Binnington game 1 and take it from there.
I think so.
Just because he has that Stanley Cup under his belt.
You
know, he has the experience. He's been there before.
Mm-hmm. This is a difficult one, by the way. Both teams are like solid in their own way. So we got the Blues leading. We have the St. Louis Blues leading the regular season series 3-0. And then if you want to talk about after April, let's see. We got the St. Louis Blues, and I mean both St. Louis Blues beat them both times in April just by 1 in OT. Oh, God. I'm going to go Wild because I'm the Fleury guy. I'm going to go Wild.
He's not even playing.
I know, but I'm a Fleury guy. I'm just going to go Wild with this one. And I think it's just because of you have some veteranism, backup goaltending, and some offense with the team, too, whereas really Husso is just coming up, and Binnington hasn't been looking as sharp as his 2019 run. So I'm going to go with Minnesota Wild on this.
How many?
I think this might go 7.
That's what I want to see, too.
Yeah.
Man, I think that you're seriously underestimating the St. Louis Blues just because we don't cover them all that much.
Yeah.
Think about the names that have been in the headlines lately, like a Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou. I mean, it's really just those two guys. But Tarasenko, Ryan O'Reilly, Brandon Saad's on that team, David Perron. Like, there's a lot of big names on that team that I think are going to get the job done. I think Minnesota is ready to get there, but Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov just aren't going to be enough, I don't think. Yeah, I really don't have too much on it, but I do think that this is going to be one of the most fun series to watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to put St. Louis in 6, but I do hope this series goes 7.
Me too.
And that's kind of where I stand on that one.
Okay.
And next up, we have Colorado and Dallas.
So Braden Holtby is out injured. He's that guy. And you have Jake Ottinger and Scott Wedgwood, the man, the myth, the legend himself. So Jake Ottinger is going to get that starting position. Colorado. I don't know. That's all I got. Colorado's going to take him. I think nothing against Dallas at all. Yeah, nothing against Dallas at all. But I'm going to take Colorado overall, and it's going to go 6, by the way.
Colorado in 6.
Yeah.
I am going to put my sweet money on Colorado here. I'm going to give them a 4-game sweep on Dallas. I think
I wanted to so bad, but I'm like, because the Stars led the regular season 2-1, and they haven't seen each other since February 15th. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe the trade deadline, maybe switch things up.
So there were 3 players on their team. This is me pulling a stat out of my fucking skull, so I forget what it was, but 3 players on their team. One of them was definitely Robertson. Have scored 45% of their goals for the entire season. And none of those 3 players are Jamie Benn or Tyler Seguin.
Yeah.
There was another big name that wasn't part of that either. But for 40, like almost half of your goals to be scored by only 3 guys on the team, like
right.
That's a big, question mark there. So I think Colorado is just going to be able to steamroll them.
We get to see Robertson in action for his first playoff run. See if he could get stuff done. But I don't know, man. You got the likes of Cale Makar in there too, as well, and Nathan McKinnon.
Now, just for the fuck of it, let's say this, right? So we did Calgary, Nashville, and Colorado, Dallas. Let's flip it the other way, right? If it's Calgary, Dallas, who are you picking there?
Ooh. No, I think I'll still pick Calgary, by the way.
I think so, too. And then if it's Colorado, Nashville, it's still Colorado, right? I think these guys, it didn't matter, they're just kind of screwed having to play those 2 great teams.
Yep.
Because everything else in the West, it can be kind of a toss-up, I think. Mm-hmm. Whereas when we get over to the East now, this first matchup we're going to look at is Florida versus Washington here.
This will be interesting because the only reason why I find this interesting is the Panthers do lead the series 2-1, but they haven't seen each other since November 30th of 2021.
All of those games are 1-goal games as well.
Yep. And Florida, if they can keep the Flames going with everything, I want to see it. I want to see Florida keep going. But there's so many times where just like, I keep hating to say Toronto, where just like you're the number 1 overall, like you're just one of the best teams in the league, and just flop first round, just like you're not ready. You're so used to just kind of cruising through the season that when you hit that team, like who's a team that remember Columbus was like 8th seed and they came out of it was Tampa, and they swept Tampa Bay out of left field. You could see this.
And I think if anyone's going to do it, Bobrovsky's the kind of guy that'll collapse to something like that.
Absolutely collapse, right? And you have Ovechkin, who's just on a tear right now. Kuznetsov, Vitek Vanacek, and I mean, it could happen. I want to. This is the series I want to see go 7, but I want to see Florida take it. I'm going to say Florida in 7.
Florida in 7. All right, I'm on board. I'm going to say Florida as well. I don't think this is going to be as good of a matchup as we're anticipating. Yes, they do have the star power of Tom Wilson, Alex Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, etc. I think the goaltending is questionable there. I think that they're like the very bottom seed in the East. I'm pretty sure that's why they're playing Florida. Yep. Every team in the East also, by the way, has 100-plus points. So
that's nuts.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to Florida in 5. And I think my main reasoning behind that, it's going to be like a Mackenzie Weegar. And, I mean, I always just revert back to depth. That's really where my brain goes when I look at these things.
I also think of playoffs, too. Like, Ovi and all these guys now have that playoff mentality now. That not I wouldn't say veterans, but they know what it takes to get to the Stanley Cup. They know what you have to do. Whereas Florida, they had the run last playoffs, and that's it. But you have Claude Giroux and Joe Thornton. They might be raising the cup this season. So
Yeah.
that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool kind of storylines to look at with these teams, like John Tavares up in Toronto too.
Yep.
Austin Matthews, those kind of guys. We're gonna get to them shortly.
Yep.
But yeah, I just think that I don't know. I think when I see the Capitals team, I think they're really old while at the same time being really young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's guys that have like a ton of experience, but maybe they can't do it like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's guys that don't have very much experience, and that's going to be detrimental as well.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe they'll gel and get an upset here. But
Mm-hmm.
we can move right along to Toronto versus Tampa Bay.
Toronto versus Tampa. Oh man, Tampa's kind of. They haven't been to Tampa as of the past few years that we've known them, and the regular season series is tied 2-2. The last time they saw each other was April 21st, where Tampa beat them 8-1.
Waxed.
Waxed and a half. But then you have the game before where Toronto beat them 6-2. You know. Oh God, I don't know. Is Toronto gonna fold? You have Peter Mrazek is out. So you have Jack Campbell and you have Eric Kalgren as your two guys, as your two goalie tandems for Toronto. Jack Campbell has been getting the job done, but does Jack Campbell have much experience at all in the playoffs? Is he used to?
No, but I think he's the guy that has shown I can handle Toronto, I can handle the media, I can handle being in a major market in Canada, and that's something that Toronto hasn't had at all in a goaltender.
Right.
So. It's also a lot easier when the city is so supporting of you and actually likes you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's kind of it on him.
I'm gonna go Lightning, and I'm gonna say Lightning in 6.
Listen, the only way that I'm looking at this is that Toronto fucking needs to win this series. They need to get out of the first round desperately.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that will honestly, sometimes that's a motivator, but sometimes it's a black cloud hanging over your head. We need this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So I think Tampa's going to get it done, and I'm going to be so upset if Toronto does upset these guys, or if Washington upsets Florida, just because there's no Battle of Florida if this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I need to see that this year.
Right.
This year of all years is the year that I want to see that.
Right.
So I want to see a great matchup there.
Right.
I'll go the same actually. I'll go Tampa in 6.
Okay.
Make it interesting. Next up, we have the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pens, baby. Speaking of New York Rangers, Lord just talked about Igor Shesterkin up in the run for the Vezina. And yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins, who have been juggling Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith. Casey DeSmith has been getting the start as of late, but is end of season probably just Tristan Jarry getting the nod. But the Rangers have led them 3-1 in the regular season series, and I don't know. I got the Rangers on this one.
You do? That's surprising.
I know. As a Pens guy, I get the Rangers on this one. I don't know. I'm juggling here. 5-7. I don't know what.
Somewhere between there.
Somewhere between there, and I kind of want to land on 6 just to be safe. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the Rangers in 6.
I am also going to lean Rangers. I think as of late, they have just been so red hot. Artemi Panarin's really shining there. Shesterkin, Georgiev. I just think Adam Fox is a game breaker.
Oh yeah.
But the Pittsburgh Penguins have had kind of a sneaky, quiet, really freaking good season.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they got as much coverage as they're used to. So
Nope.
I think it'll be a good matchup. I'm going with New York Rangers in 7. And I really I don't know. There's just a lot of good storylines this year, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
So let's go Rangers.
Nice.
We've kind of mirrored each other. We've only had 2 opposite picks so far. So
Really?
here's to hoping we're right.
I mean, we were picking Colorado, Calgary,
Yep.
Florida, Tampa. It's just.
Yep. We didn't. What did you do for an upset? Edmonton. You haven't done an upset yet,
I
buddy.
haven't done an upset yet.
Is Carolina going to be the one? Carolina Boston's the last set
God,
here.
I was thinking about it. I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, Carolina might do it.
Carolina technically, I think, has both of their goalies battling an injury right now. Frederik Andersen and Antti Raanta. We're both not feeling so well, I think.
Oof.
So that changes a lot of things.
Changes a lot. A whole lot. And after watching the Bruins last night live, I was just seeing, I understand it was Buffalo, but from like a point of view, I was like, oh wow, these guys are just getting shit done, you know? Oh God. Who are you gonna pick?
I'm going Boston because I think Carolina is very top heavy, and I think Boston has just been clicking so well lately. I think they've only dropped 2 games in their last 12. I don't like the goaltending tandem in Boston, but they are getting it done. They're effective. And I think that their zone entry and their blue line, I don't know, the way they manage the puck at the blue line, they can really dig in deep and beat you to that puck on dump-ins. They kind of just know where everyone is. That power play, too, like when they get that clicking. They were actually, I believe, 0 for 20 leading up to the playoffs, or 0 for 19, something like that. So, I mean, it's a bad time for that to happen, but hopefully they shake that off before playoffs, and that's going to be the game changer.
Right.
I think missing both their goalies, like, who knows what's going to happen there. That's
Are they missing, by the way? Can you look that up?
Yeah, I can check. But yeah, I'm going to go Boston in 6.
Because depending on if both of them are still out, I think I might go Carolina.
You mean Boston?
What do you mean?
If they're both out, you're going to pick Carolina?
Yeah, if they're both out, I think I'm going to pick Boston.
Okay. Frederik Andersen is showing out right now.
Showing out, and then you have Antti Raanta.
Antti Raanta and Peter Kochetkov, spelled Pyotr.
I mean, Peter Mrazek is good.
He's not with them anymore. He's with Toronto.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking
Raanta.
Raanta, sorry.
Yeah, he is good.
He is good.
He's used to playing in Arizona, though, is the way I look at him.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Boston. Sorry, I don't have an upset for that. If Freddie Andersen was that, I think it'd be a different story.
I just want to see, because I definitely saw something about Antti Raanta being injured. I'm going to look into that if you can fill some fucking airtime.
Okay. Yeah, so...
Wait, did you do number of games? You going Boston in?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking about it because in the regular season series, because we're gonna pick Boston. The Canes actually lead them 3-0, and these scores here are just not looking pretty. By the way, the last time they saw each other was February 10th, where Carolina beat them 6-0, and then the last one was January 18th, where the Carolina beat them 7-1, and then before that, Carolina beat them 3-0, and so it's just like if they had if this is why I would pick Carolina, because if Freddie Andersen and Antti Raanta, the tandem was back, and I'd definitely be all over Carolina. But if he's out, you know. But again, watching the Bruins yesterday live, just seeing how they play, because when you watch TV, you're just seeing what the camera's picking up, but you get to see how the plays all unfolding and what they're all doing. It was insane to watch how really good the Bruins are, and I think I'm gonna pick the Bruins for Carolina.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be the biggest upset technically for what Carolina has done to them this season. So
yeah,
I got the Bruins and I got the Bruins in 7.
7. I only picked 2 series to go to 7. I have 1 sweep. You have 1 sweep as well.
I have 1 sweep. Yep.
All right. So this is what I dug up on Antti Raanta. April 24th, he exited in the second period against the Islanders. Lower body injury. Stopped 17 of 18 shots. Peter Kochetkov replaced him in the crease with Frederik Andersen sidelined by an undisclosed injury. Hurricanes could be without their top 2 goalies heading into playoffs. That was 5 days ago. And then Raanta actually was expected to be available Tuesday of this week, which was 3 days ago now. He did start tonight, actually. He made 27 saves in a 6-3 win over the Devils. He left in his previous start with a lower body injury, but looked healthy in the season finale. The Hurricanes' first-round opponent yet to be decided, but Raanta will likely get the Game 1 nod over rookie Peter Kochetkov, with Andersen still sidelined by an undisclosed injury as of today. So that's where we're at. So I think he's still kind of battling it, but he's playing through it almost, you know, is what it seems like to me.
Interesting.
I mean, that team is just so fast and so strong on the forward side of things.
Yeah.
Tony DeAngelo really turned his career around on the back end, too, for them. So, I mean, there's not really a bad pick here. I just think that Boston's gonna get it done.
Boston, yep.
So you got Edmonton, Calgary, Minnesota, Colorado, Florida, Tampa, New York, and Boston. So we picked everything the same except for the St. Louis miniseries and the LA Edmonton series. So with all that being said, who do you have for your Stanley Cup champion now that playoffs are set up? Keep in mind, you picked Tampa at the beginning of the season.
No, you're right. Should I roll with Tampa or should I say Florida Panthers because I want them to win?
If my guy was still in, I would personally roll with them, but I'm not telling you to do that. I think you should pick where your heart tells you to pick.
Because you're right. You brought me back to, like, the whole Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight, you know, just like it's his time to fucking shit the bed. And you have Vasilevsky who knows what it takes, you know?
Yep.
But at the same time, I want to see Joe Thornton raise the cup. And Claude Giroux raising the cup would be cool shit to see. Especially, it'd be a perfect end to, like, this beautiful Florida Panthers season, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Florida Panthers.
There you go. So I really hope now for Battle of Florida. And then either way, you're happy with who wins. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's good. I think, personally, the East is so stacked and so heavy. I think that these guys are going to beat the brakes out of each other, and the East is going to be gassed when they get to the Stanley Cup Finals. So I think whoever comes out of the West is going to win it, and I'm going to stick with Colorado and hope that they can get it done.
Wow. Man.
But let's see.
Now, who do you want to see face each other off in the Stanley Cup Finals? East versus West.
I mean, Colorado, Florida seems like a no-brainer, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not as much fun. Like, I almost don't want to pick Colorado in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you have for an answer there?
I don't know. Like, either Colorado or Calgary, right? Those are your picks. Oh, those are the picks that we think it's. Oh, I think personally.
Out of the West, right?
Out of the West, yeah. So you'd have. I don't know. We were just talking about good goaltending, and Jacob Markstrom and Dan Vladar is up there. They're up there at the runnings for with Freddie Anderson and Antti Raanta. So if they keep that heat streak, they could, in fact, kind of shut down the Colorado Avalanche and push through.
As much as I hate Canada, I'd like to see Edmonton, Toronto for the Cup Finals. That would be fun. McDavid-Matthews matchup for the Finals.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Wow, that'd be cool.
That's a good one.
I guarantee you will be wrong in some crazy-ass way.
I want. Know what else would be cool to see? LA going to the Cup Finals with Philip Deneau from Montreal after he was just there last year.
Oh yeah,
right? For them to be the underdogs and get there again.
Right.
I don't know. Seeing them lift another cup too before Dustin Brown retires, like one more for those guys is cool. Quick, Kopitar. But yeah,
I don't know. Guess we're gonna find out pretty soon though.
Yeah, I think next week, hopefully the playoffs will be started. We'll probably cover a couple of the games. There won't really be another update in this sense. It'll just be day-to-day stuff. And we'll have like kind of a normal episode in that regard.
Yep.
So yeah.
But with that said, want to do our shot?
Let's do it, dude. I got Twisted Island Thunder, and I'm glad I bought this one because all the other ones are weird. They're like buttery nipple and like sex on the beach and like kinky pussy, I think was one too.
What?
Like
Really?
Kinky pussy cat or something like that.
I've never had one of these before.
I haven't either, but I thought they always look cool because there's two different liquids in here and like it mixes as you drink it. Kind of not so easy to open though.
No. You gotta like
child
put it on the table and then do it, or it's gonna spill everywhere.
No, it's not gonna spill.
Oh god, here we go again. There you go. Yeah, so this is the weird...
Oh, what are the two flavors actually? Let me see. Pineapple vodka and blue curacao. That's not bad. That'll be pretty good. Island Thunder, boys.
How do you? So am I supposed to?
I'm gonna put my mouth here.
Okay, yeah, that
so
makes
you get
sense.
both, but it is kind of weird. Cheers.
Cheers.
It felt kind of small too, didn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't a shot. What the hell was that?
It's 50.
I don't know. Save your money. Don't do it.
I mean, they're only 40 proof, so like that's way lower than all the other stuff we've been ripping.
Yeah.
It's very sweet, it's sugary. It's kind of like.
That's the first thing that hit the back of my throat. I was like, oh.
Yeah, a lot of sugar, right?
Yeah.
Sugar bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's about it, boys.
Mm-hmm. And girls.
All good.
All good. Let's
all right.
do it.
Thanks everyone for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
We did it right this time.